Hello friends, Cheryl here with Pulp, and I'm back with the final video on the ABB journal. I've got all the pages done, I've got all the final touches on it, I've got the cover on it, and I wanted to do a walkthrough with you guys. So before I get started on this, if you're new here, welcome. You've come at a good time because we're going to do a walkthrough on a really fun journal. And if you're returning, you know I love you, and this will be a fun video for you guys. All right, so what is ABB? I did the ABB journal. Art Before Breakfast is what it stands for. And I did that for about 2.5 years. It started out every single morning except Thursday and Sunday. And then I pared it back to where I was just doing it 2 or 3 times a week. I just couldn't keep up that pace. And then late spring, and when summer was just coming around, I decided to take a break. So I stopped doing ABB, but in all the time that we had been doing ABB, we had made so much ephemera that I needed to do something with all of it, because that's what we would do in our time in ABB, was make something, whatever it happened to be, and then I just saved all those pieces. So I decided to do a journal, and the cover of this journal is a piece that we made in ABB. This was tea bags, and there's some tea bag tags up here, and then just sort of made a crown for her. But I really liked her, and I thought she would be a good cover. Now, the cover I mounted on a piece of cardboard because it was too thin by itself. And so I mounted it on a piece of cardboard, and then I glued it to the front. But the piece was a little bigger than my book cover. And I didn't want to cut it off because it's just spaced so perfectly. So what I did is I let it hang over a little on this edge, and then I filled that with twine. It's still a little bit wet. I just did this morning. I filled that with twine, and it still opens just fine, as you'll see here in a moment. I put a piece of fabric over the spine. It's this brown fabric here, and it does go underneath the cover. And then I took a piece of muslin and glued that down to the front cover, and then on the back it only glues to here. And so you can pull it tight and close it, but that's open. You could glue that down too there if you wanted to. So that's the closure, is a piece of muslin, and it's a solid piece. I didn't want to put in 2 pieces because I didn't want it to pull out. Excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat. And then on the back, I had this fabric that went around the spine, and then the paper that was on the back, I bought the cover, which was just an altered Reader's Digest book. The paper that was on there really didn't match, so I found a really pretty piece of paper to match that. On the spine, I hung a little dangle here from a bulb pin. I'll leave that to whomever. By the way, this journal's going to be for sale. Whoever gets this journal can choose to put an eyelet in there and hang more dangles, or just leave it at this, but there is a little dangle hanging there. All right, so let's get started and go through. So again, this was a Reader's Digest book, and I got this, I bought it from Lovely's Crafting Lodge, and she had gone through and put pattern papers on most of the pages, and so that's what I used for decorating. Now, I didn't decorate every single one of them, so whoever gets this, like here, if you want to put a pocket on here and have something more to stuff in there, you certainly can do that. This is a pocket, again, all made in ABB, and I don't know, some of you may remember this, but This is a tag we made in ABB, and it is backed. Okay. And then on this page, this is something that I did since I did the last video. I had this kind of hippie woman, and I loved this. This is just a decoration. There's no function to this page at all. It's not a pocket. But this CD holder has a rub-on over the acetate, and my throat is just really... And then inside is this piece of paper. So this opens up, and let me put it more in the middle. Kind of put it over to one side, and it's... There we go. All right. So there we go. That's that page. The next page, I also went through and put some clusters on some of the pages, and these are clusters that we made during ABB. Okay, this side has a hidden journaling space here. I always have trouble getting these things to go back in their slots. Does anybody else have trouble? I mean, they go in. There it goes. I don't know. I always have trouble getting them in. But anyway, that's another piece that we made in ABB. This is a rub-on that I put on this page. And then this little butterfly, as I said in my last video, I bought this from a woman who was selling, and she takes wallpaper and stamps out these butterflies. And I just thought this one went so well right here. And then again, we have the little cluster with the buttons. This page I did nothing, so you could, again, put a pocket, you could do a flip out, you could add something there. That's up to you. On this page, I put a little scrappy notebook that we made in ABB when we were doing scrappy notebooks one day. Very simple. And it's held on there with one of those mini paper clips. Okay. This is a writing page. There are several of these in this book, and I decorated each writing page has a flower in the lower left-hand corner. These are rub-ons, and I put one on each of the writing pages, not both corners. I just did one. Okay. This is the T page. And in here, I want to do some more of these on a video. I want to do a video with more of these. These look like shirts. And then in the pocket, I have another little pocket with another little journaling card. Okay, and that all goes right in there. All right, another writing page, another flower. This was a pocket that came with the journal, and I'm gonna glue this down just a bit because it's coming up just a hair. There we go. She sent some extra ephemera, and so I decided to use these book page pockets. I did put a rub-on here to decorate it, and then a little tag. And then in the pocket, I loved this tag that we made. It's a napkin with a bunch of different lace pieces and a butterfly and a button. I need to back this. I knew there was one in here that I needed to back. That was some packaging. So I'm going to leave this sticking up so that I put some backing on it. Just a page here. Well, come on. Oh, that's all just one page. Oh, I see why, because I put a belly band up here. Okay, this is a belly band that we made in ABB with all the birds on it, only I put it up near the, that's why I thought there was a second page here, because I thought that was a page. But I put it up near the edge and used it as a tuck spot. And then we've got a couple of pieces. This is a little envelope. I did not put anything in it. It's got a little ink staining on it, little on the front. Tell me your story. And then we've got this that was done. It's just like a collage of little tiny pieces. So it's another journal card. That's backed with blue. Okay, on this page, there is no functionality to this. Well, you know what? I might not be telling the truth. I think maybe I did leave this open. Yeah, I did leave this open, but I didn't put anything in there. So, because the book was getting pretty chunky. So it could either just be a decorative page, and I love the way this page came out. It's so pretty. You could leave it just as decorative or not. Oh, one of my favorite pages in the book. We created this trifold with the little kids, and then we've got a writing, well, all three of these could be writing spaces, but I put some lined paper in there, and then I added a little butterfly sticker. Hang on, I got some glue on my hands. It's looking pretty shiny. And then that just folds up. This is not functional. This is just a page. It's a piece of a receipt. And then I put some rub-ons on that. So that one is just a page. Nothing on these pages other than clusters. I made this cluster. It's got a beautiful piece of metal and sparkly little stone and some doily and lace and a piece of paper on there, label, some fabric under it. And then I just took a piece of paper and tore it, and it kind of made this, this shape. And I just thought that looked so cool on there. So that's that one. Then we have another writing page. And then this is just a rub-on, just decoration. Over here, we have a triple pocket. And we've got some tags in here. Pretty butterfly. And some flowers. Okay. Then on the next page, this is only writing on this side. And this is not functional. I keep saying that, and then I think I try to put them on there with the opening, so that if you want to put something, yeah, you could put something down in there if you wanted to. And then I took another little cluster and put that up here. And by putting the clusters up here, even though they have buttons on them, the main bulk is coming from the middle. So these pages have a little extra room to add that kind of stuff. And then we have, this is a writing page. These are writing pages as well, but they're different. These were book pages where I took tape and pulled off the book page, and if you look, what you're seeing here is from the other side. So I pulled off the top layer of book page, and then I put some rub-ons on here to decorate. So this could be a writing page as well. And some pages have washi tape down the middle just because they look like they needed it. This also is a writing page. This one is done with the notebook paper. Here's the belly band we used. So I have, look at this fearless dog with his little bow tie on. And then this belly band that I absolutely loved. And then this is the only place where the rub-on is on the right-hand side. I thought it would look too awkward over there. So I got another writing page. And then we've got this page, this pocket. I did not put anything in here. You could put a piece of writing paper in here. You could fill it with whatever you want, but it says sweet. And this is textured. This is texture paste. Okay, and that fits right down in that. And then on this page, again, I just have the rub-ons. Okay, this is another writing page where I tore off the book page underneath and made it a writing page. And then on this is a dangle. Okay, it moves around. But this little pocket, or this little letter, opens up. No, it doesn't. And I've done this 100 times. It doesn't pull out. It opens. So this is an envelope that folds down for a writing space. And one of these days I'll remember that that's what I did and quit trying to pull that piece of paper out of the middle of the pocket. So that's a fold down writing space on a little dangle. And then another writing page. A plain page. I used a bulldog clip up here on this mini CD case that is decorated on the front. And then inside is just a journaling card. Okay. Another writing page. Now, before I say this has no function, because I don't think it does, I'm going to make sure though. No, this is just decoration. It's a piece of wallpaper with some rub-ons attached. And then over on this side, we have the real pretty orange with the birds. And then this is another one of the hidden journaling spots. Okay, let's see if I can push that down in there. I don't know why they don't like to go down in there so well. But for some reason, they don't. And they're cut plenty small. I mean, it's not like there we go. I mean, once you get it going, it goes. It just likes to be stubborn. So there's that. Another writing page. Another decorative page. These are rub-ons. And then this is another writing page that has, I need to just, I had some glue on that page. Another writing page. Oh, this is a fun one. And I think this was just a, yeah, and then I have washi top. This is just a decoration. But I had that toile card. And then here's another one of those pockets that I got with the journal. I put, this is from Marimie's Small Arts. I've been cutting out a lot of her flowers, and then I put one up here to kind of tie the two pages together. And then this piece is one of my favorite all-time pieces. Oh, I need to back that one too. Do you remember Tool Time, where they had the guy who peeked over the fence and he never really saw his face, but he would talk to Tim over the fence, and then the sentiment is in your eyes. And so that's an ode to the guy who looks over the fence. I love that piece. And just his eyes peek up over the top. Okay. Another writing page. Another plain page. This one is a postcard. And then this is a cluster that went real well with the colors here, so I just put it on the edge of the page. Another writing page. All right, on this page now, I don't think I I don't think I made this a pocket. I'm pretty sure I knew one of these I didn't. That other one I had. This is just decoration. This is a bulldog clip with a little envelope and nothing inside. So you could put some pictures, some receipts, some whatever you want in there. Mementos, concert tickets, whatever you'd like. And then you can write on here. And then more writing paper with a flower. Another belly band, and I love this belly band. It's this lady sitting on top of a pile of books, and this is a piece of metal behind her head. And she's just sitting here on the books, and she's got clarity. And then I've got this tag, or not tag, but journal card. And some extra little threads hanging off there. You can cut those off if you want. I tend to leave them and let the new owner decide. Another writing page with flowers. This is the other side of that teacup page. And this is this is out of a magazine. And then this is a loose tea bag that we put in the cup. And then it's got some flowers, added something here and I'm pretty sure I just put this one down. I didn't leave it open. So that was pretty. That was a fun art before breakfast. Another writing page. This is fabric with the butterflies. And that actually is open, so you could put something in there. In fact, I wonder, I don't know if I have a small one here. I've been fussy cutting some butterflies, but I don't know if I have. I don't know. I have this tag that goes in here. Let's see. I haven't cut the antenna on these yet because I didn't want them to get pulled off. But if I decide to use one of these, I can always. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Okay, I may add that. I'll just cut the antenna out and then put that in there. Blank pages. And then finally, this is an envelope. Come on. So you can put whatever down in there. It doesn't, I didn't make it so the flap folds over. I left the flap up because I didn't want to cover up the owl. And this originally had a big old button on it, but it just made it a huge gator mouth. So I took off the button and put a pretty flower on there. And then the lace under here, for those of you who may not have seen, I like to take lace, especially the cotton, the thicker cotton lace, and use my industrial strength heat gun, and heat it to the point where it kind of burns the lace. I may burn holes in it, may just turn it brown, but that's a piece of that lace that I burned up. And that's the back of the book. So I got a couple things I have to go in and back, but I'll get those done today. This journal is for sale. So if you're interested, please contact me, inkedpulp@gmail.com. And I'll talk to you about price. If you're an ABB member and you're interested in buying it, let me know. Some of these may hold some good memories for you. But that's it. That's the ABB journal. So thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you will do that and give me a thumbs up. All right, everybody, have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.